6 over after shooting 236 in the 5th game. Through the front 5, left an 8 count, picked it up, and now has the next 3 going into the 10th frame. He has a 278 pace. That is also not going to be enough to get him into the show, but it may get him some cash because we're paying the top 9 here. Only the top 5 make the show, but we are paying the top 9. 9th place is just going to get, I believe, their money and $10 back. I believe the entry fee for this was $60, and I think I saw that 9th place is getting $70 back. So he was 36 over, and if he actually shoots 278, it's 114. And 114 would technically catch a check, not knowing what anybody else would do for the 6th game. Jacob Berry is going to be going into this game was your last man to catch a check. He was at 108 over going into this game. He's about to step on the approach on lane number 8. Started the game with a spare and a double before he opened, and had another spare. So can Vinny get to more than what Jacob was at going into this game? Yeah, definitely. But, you know, what's going to happen in front of Vinny, between him and Jacob? What's Jacob going to do? You know what I mean? How much is that number that I just caught a check number going to go up? Because it can only go up 5 pins if Vinny strikes out for him to catch that next place check. So Walter Ray threw a double after opening in the 7th frame, but he now is looking at, I believe that is a 3, 4, 6, 7, 10 down there on lane number 11. John Huff shot a 236 the last game. Scott Cobb shot, I believe that says 216 on 11 and 12. Thank you. I appreciate it. See, there goes another one. Not that I'm trying to toot my own horn. I'm really just sitting here talking shit and saying whatever rolls off my tongue while I'm watching bowling. But Robert Hilton's got the front 6 down on 9 and 10. Bruce Hall is finishing this tournament strong, even though he's not going to make the cut. He's got a 4-bagger going into the 10th frame. That is one of our senior regional players that bowled the tournament this weekend and stuck around for this sweeper, trying to find where he was going into this game. He was in 27th going into this game. He was 30 pins under. He was 30 pins under even, but he's probably going to at least get back to even and at least kind of make it feel a little bit better. I'm sure he's going to be bowling the big tour stop starting on Monday over at Lightning Strikes, about 20-30 minutes from here. Silas Lira was the 4th seed going into this game, and he is on I believe that's going to be a 259 pace. So I don't know that anybody's going to be getting into the show that's not already into the show. Where's Matthew? Matthew M is right under Vinny. Vinny got the first one in the 10th for that 278 bid. Matthew M started out with a double, then had 3 straight before putting a 4-bagger together into the 10th frame. So I don't know that anybody's going to be sneaking up into the show that's not in it going into this game. Vinny just left a 7-pin. Yeah, I know that bothers you a little bit. That's probably going to keep him from catching that check. Because Jacob over there can't strike right now. He's got 2 straight spares in a row after an open. Vinny picks this up. It's 267. 267, and he was already 36 over. I think that's 103 over, which is very respectable, but it's not going to be enough to catch a check. 103 over on a PBA pattern is very respectable. 11 and 12 just wrapped up. I didn't see what Dan Knowlton shot, but he wasn't in position to do anything going into that game. Robert Hilton has made it the front 7 on 9 and 10. Michael Haggett is having a hard time getting pins to go down and getting the ball to go through the rack the right way. Oh, and Jacqueline Matura is going off again. She started this game with a double and then had a 9 spare and has since put a 3 bag together and threw a really good shot, but left a flat 10 pin. Yeah, let him reset it. Let him reset it. I don't know for sure, but I think that we're going to be doing the stepladder roll off on lanes 5 and 6. They may use 7 and 8 like they did for the PBA 50 regional, but I believe that we're going to be using 5 and 6. And AJ Wolstenholm is on a 290 pace on 5 and 6. I say that like that because I just looked up and realized it. Matthew M is going to finish this game out with a 246 and solidify himself into the show. Don't know that he's going to stay in 4th place or whatever place he's in. He did make it. Yep, 246. Joseph Ledebar shot 213 in the last game. That's very respectable. Ryan Waddell is looking at a 1-2-4 conversion to shoot 198 the last game. He's not a happy camper. I wouldn't be either. Kind of had a chance to sneak in there if he'd have had a big one, but Wolstenholm just mashed that one. Robert Hilton has got the front 8 down on 9 and 10. So he's definitely going to be in the show. I think he's trying to overtake Garrett Wolf for the 1 seed. He was only 23 pins behind him. Garrett Wolf has started this game with the front 3 before having 2 straight 9 spares and then getting back on the strike train in the 6th frame. He just went a little high there and left a 6 pin. Silas Lira up on the approach on lane 2 is your 4 seed going into this game. Is going to shoot a big game. It's going to be about a 259 if he strikes out, I believe. Flat 10, first shot in the 10th frame. It's not really going to make much of a difference, honestly. If he picks it up and strikes, he's looking at 239. Michael Smith next to him started off the tournament very well and then just really ran into some problems. But he's got a 4-bagger here to finish up and looking to try and get the second one in the 10th. He did so. If he strikes the last one in the 10th, it's going to be 34, 64, 94, 224. Very respectable way to finish up your tournament. Yeah, he had 2 big games to start, 265 and, 227 is not a huge game, but it's not a small game either. And then he just got lost. He shot 173, 182, and 190 the next 3 games. 37 over going into the last game. If he gets the strike and shoots the 224, over. Chris Jonas is struggling this game big time. Started the game with a couple of spares before he had an open. Threw a double, another open. Then had an 8 spare, a 9 spare in the 7th frame, and he just left a 3 pin. All right, that's a 9 pin. Another 9 pin. Seen so many 9 pins in here tonight. It's insane. Not just tonight, today, all day. AJ still has that 9-2 pace going into the 10th frame. It's going to be coming up on the right line here in a minute. Take it easy, John Huff. Be careful going home, buddy. Woo! That was loud, Charles Bostic. I don't even know that he threw that ball with any kind of rotation on it. For all I know, he threw it. He threw it fast enough to turn the speed sensor off on that lane, which I believe you have to throw at 25 miles an hour to do that. Tom Hankey's having a huge last game here, making sure that he catches a check, I believe. Oh, no, he was in 14 in this game, 74 over. He can punt for, I believe that's going to make it 268 if he gets the last two, so 74 over. 134, 142 over. So, yeah, he's probably going to catch a check here. Garrett Wolf opened in the 7th frame, whiffed a single pin, and just left another 3 pin. I believe that was what he just went in the other lane. AJ Wolstenholme getting up in the 10th frame for the first shot to try and complete a 290 bid. Robert Hilton has the front 9 on 9 and 10. I believe that's the same pair of lanes that Silas Lira shot his 300 on. Silas did so in the 4th game. AJ did get the first one. And Tom Hankey kicks out the 9 pin late. Oh, that was a 4-9 in the 4 stayed. He shot 267, so he's going to be, I believe, 143, 141 over. That should catch a check, but it's not going to get him to the show. Verity Crawley has a 4-bagger going into the 9th frame down there. Matura has a very nice game going. Started out with a double before she had a spare, then she threw a 3-bagger and had another spare. She got back on the strike train in the 8th frame. She's up on lane 7 right now in the 9th frame. AJ Wolstenholme just went a little bit high and left a 3-6-10. The second ball in the 10th frame. So that, if he picks that up, it's going to make it a 277. Jacqueline struck again, so that gives her a double going into the 10th frame. And a chance for, I believe, a 258 game. Chris Jonas is staring at a 4-7 conversion. He's approaching right now. And I did not expect him to hook it at it, and he missed it completely. I'm going to look and see what this does. More so than I'm going to try and pick this spare. Michael Haggett just shot 182 to finish up his tournament. Got go to the end of this game where he beat down the pocket 9 counts. AJ Wolstenholme chopped that 277. It's pretty inconsequential. Hilton still on the front 9 on lane, and he's going to be coming up on lane 9 here in a minute, right after Wayne finishes. Verity Crawley approach on lane 8. Looks to be the trend 2. He will have to 4-6-7. Wayne Tupolin looks right. He just threw the first one in the 10th frame. If he strikes out, it's 202. Finish his tournament. Verity took the 4-7 off, and she can strike out now for 224 in the 10th frame. Hayden Knight was your first man out going into this game, and he's going to finish. He got the first 2 in the 10th. If he gets the third one, it's going to be a 221. John Marsala hasn't thrown a strike since this third frame. He threw a double, second and third. But it's been a bunch of 9 spares and a couple of 7 spares ever since. And then he just threw an 8 spare in the 10th. And that's his last shot going down the lane right there. And crossed over a little bit Brooklyn and left a 5-7. He's going to shoot 195 to finish it up. Chris Jonas just threw a very nice shot down there for a strike, but he can only shoot 175 to finish. Jacqueline Matura getting up in the 10th frame, carrying a double into the 10th. She can punch out for 258 here. Probably be pretty happy about that. Probably not going to catch a check, but she's probably going to be pretty happy about it. And she got the first one to go down. Just getting up on the approach on lane 9. That's your number 2 seed going into this last game. And he's got the front 9 right now. All right, Robert Hilton is approaching his 10th shot right this minute. Still on that altered reality. That ball looked in. Flat. Sent a messenger at it and just kind of quit right before it got it. Up and strikes is 270. Garrett Wolf missed that second 3-pin a couple of minutes ago, and I did not realize that. Got back on the strike train for the 9th frame after that, but we could be looking at a new number 1 seed here. Up to 2 finish the tournament and shoot 165. Jacqueline Matura got the second one in the 10th, so she just needs this one more for a 258. Jacqueline going into this game, she didn't have a very good 5th game at all. She struggled really bad on the 5th game on that last pair. She was 17th place going into this game at 35 over. So she did get the last one. She shot 258. It's going to make her 93 over, which is extremely respectable. I believe that's right about just over a 215 average on the day for her. Robert Hilton did get the last one to shoot 279. So he was at 220 over. So that's going to put him at 299 over. Garrett Wolf was at 243 over going into this game. He is about to step up here in a couple minutes on lane 8 to finish out 6th game. And he has a max out there left of 215. So he has definitely been overtaken here. That's going to put him at a max of 258 over. So not that it really matters how big the gap is, but that was quite the change there. AJ Wolstenholme. Actually, AJ might have potentially taken him over also now that I'm sitting here thinking about it. AJ shot, I believe it was 276, and he was already 211 over. So, yeah, he's going to be 285 over. He's going to be your number 2 seed. Silas Lira. Can't remember what Silas shot. Take it easy, Ricky. Good luck this week, bud. Ricky Schisler's on his way out the door. Man, you had a chance to catch a check there a little bit. You needed some help. If you'd have punched out and shot the 278, you needed some help from this Jacob guy, more help than he gave you to catch the check. But you had a chance. The second one at 10th was huge. Yeah. That's what it is. Yep, exactly. It's fucking bowling. Excuse me. Garrett Wolf is still throwing that purple hammer, and he's pretty far to the right. He's a left-handed player. But I don't know if he's got to get that far to the right with it in the front part of the lane. I don't know that that's the ball that he should be throwing. I'm pretty damn sure that they're not going to re-oil before the step ladder. Verity Crawley finished with 2 opens to shoot 203 the last game, and she's 203 is not terrible, but I know she wanted a lot more than that. See where she was. She could have gotten herself into check land, especially when we were through like 7 frames of this game, because she had a 4 or 5 bagger going. But 12th place one in the game at 4 over, she shoots 203, puts her at 87 over, and she needed like probably 230, 235, something like that. Garrett Wolf just shot 194. So we're going to take 6 pins off of the number that he already had. It's going to put him at 237 over. So this guy might have just went from first to fourth. I got to figure out what Silas Lyra shot in the last game. So Silas Lyra shot, I believe, 235 the last game. So it's not going to be enough to put him ahead of Garrett Wolf because he was only 179 over. It's going to put him at 214 over. Matthew M. God, I think he shot 230 something. Yeah, that's going to keep him in the 5th seed. He would have needed a big game. Not that he knew that, but he would have needed like a 2 seed to jump into the 4 seed, I believe. So, looks like we're going to have Robert Hilton as your 1 seed, AJ Wolstenholme as your 2 seed, Garrett Wolf, the man who led the tournament from the 2nd game through the 5th game, is your 3 seed. Silas Lyra stayed in the 4 seed, and I believe Matthew M stayed in the 5 seed. And I believe that your first man out is going to be Hayden Knight. Michael Haggett was in 7th place going into that game, but he struggled coming down the stretch and was not able to shoot 200.
All right, everybody. Thank you. We're going to do the finals on 7 and 8. Practice pair will be on 12. All right. 9th place with a 13-11, Michael Haggett.
Michael Haggett finished in 9th place with a 13-11. That's 111 over, and that's going to be your last to cash.
8th place with a 13-16, Ryan Waddell.
Ryan Waddell caught a check with a 16. That's 116 on the day.
Junior, 7th place, 13-41.
I knew that 267 that last game was going to put him in check land.
6th place with a 13-54, Hayden Knight.
Yep, that's no change. He was there before.
Top 5 going to the stepladder, first match. Sorry, I don't know the last name. I've got Matthew M. with a score of 14-01.
Yep.
He'll be bowling Silas Lyra with a 14-13. 3rd place qualifier with a 14-37, Garrett Wolf.
Yep.
2nd place qualifier with a 14-87, AJ Wolstenholme. And your number 1 seed with a 14-99,
Robert Hilton, the local guy. Attaboy, Robert.
Okay, you guys will get 2 balls on each lane on 7 and 8. You guys can go ahead and do that whenever you guys are over there ready. Like I said, 11 and 12.
All right. I don't know if anybody, I'm sure y'all heard that, but I'll give a quick recap just in case it was a little faint or something like that. We're using 7 and 8 for the pull-off pair for the step ladder. The guys that are waiting in the wings are going to be practicing on 12. They're going to get 2 balls of practice because we literally just finished the 6th game, and they're going to get rolling. Second, I'll pull up this picture I took a minute ago of what we were paying everybody out. 9th place took home $70, which is basically your entry fee and $10. 8th place got $75. 7th place took home $80, and 6th place took home $90. The loser of this match is going to take home $100. The winner is going to move on to bowl the 3rd seed, Garrett Wolf. We're going to have Matthew M. as our 5 seed, bowling against Silas Lira. Silas Lira fired a 300 game in the 4th game of qualifying on this pair of lanes. Silas, what are you doing? Silas has taken his purple hammer and thrown it like straight at the head pin from the left side of the lane. I don't know why, unless he was practicing a quote-unquote spare shot or something. I don't know. I don't, to be honest with you. Let me see it, darling. Might have somebody's initials on it or something. Nothing. Leave it right here. Somebody will come by and grab it.
I think this is just the kitchen one, but I don't.
I do think that that's one of y'all's rags, yeah. All right, these guys got their practice shots done. They're fixing to get it on here in a minute.
Your practice one's done already?
I want to go first.
You flip flop it? Yeah. Okay. Dennis, can you flip flop it so Silas can go first on the left lane? Thank you. Silas is going to lead off on the left lane first, on lane number 7. And here we go. Silas looks like he's throwing that Reign Supreme that he was throwing earlier for the 300 game. On this was not his pair of lanes. It was the next pair of lanes over. A little high, leaves a 4-pin. So he spares the first frame, and he's going to clear the way for Matthew M., who's also going to be throwing. I shouldn't say he's also going to be throwing a purple hammer because Silas didn't throw a purple hammer, but Matthew's going to be throwing a purple hammer. He's a left-handed kid. A million. Matthew strikes in the first frame. Somebody back here talking to Robert Hilton said, seriously, what'd you shoot the last 4 games? And I said, 1,000,000. A freaking million. Because he's an animal.
It only wrote by itself. Somebody got
Take it easy, Ryan. Paul Fleming is giving Robert Hilton a hard time for throwing an altered reality. I'm with you, Paul.
It's just like one of those. It's just one of those myths.
I'm tempted to pull my sweater off because I have my Storm Band this shirt on that I got from 10 Pin Life, but it's cold as hell in here. These guys are having a conversation about the illegal balls next to me. Matthew opened up in the second frame there. I wasn't paying enough attention to nobody left. My apologies. Paying attention to this conversation to the side of me. Silas Lira is getting up in the second frame on lane 8. Throws a very good ball, kicks out the 7 pin late. Silas Lira just threw his third frame shot down there and it hooked up early and left a 3 pin for him. Oh, and he just whiffed the 3 pin. Threw the urethane ball at it and he hit it too much. Can't really do that when you got 6 going into 7 games on a pair of lanes now. Especially when everybody's been playing in the middle mostly. Ball mows him down for the lefty. Starts this game out strike open strike. And 12, you got AJ Wolstenholme and Garrett Wolf practicing. AJ Wolstenholme just threw a Zen ball down there. Zen ball good. And he's kind of a power ring 10, or excuse me, 7 pin on lane 7. AJ's still throwing that phase 2 down there on the practice pair a little bit, and it's kind of getting a little bit too angular. Just left another gnarly 9 pin.
One of these days I'll be cool enough to set that friend request on Facebook. Trust me, anyone over 35
That was a very good shot by Silas Leroy there in the fourth frame. He buried that one for a strike. Get back on the strike train after the open frame in the third. Vasquez heading out. Silas got that one. I'm not sure if he got it a little bit right at target or if he rolled it a little bit more than he had been, but it just didn't come off the back of the pattern. Very angular, and he left a 2-pin on that one. Silas converts that 2-pin. Dennis, the 5 and 6 cameras showing the 1 and 4 feed. The 5 through 8 cameras showing the 1 through 4 feed.
Oh, he's backwards. I'm backwards. Let me look up.
Got it. They are going to work on fixing the feed so that y'all can see the match. I'm going to go through on my phone and see if I can pull up the 1 through 4 camera and see if that's showing the 5 through 8 feed. It is. So he's going to work on fixing that, but the 1 through 4 channel is showing through the 5 through 8 feed. And Matthew M just went spare on the 5th frame in this 5-8 title match, or 4-5 match.